Hi friends, it's Miss Escue here, and I am actually sitting outside of my house because I'm going to use some things I find outside to make art. So today what you're going to be doing is you're going to just go around just outside around your home, and you're going to find different things that you can use to make artwork. So we're going to go on a little adventure together to get a couple ideas, because I'm not going to tell you specifically what to make outside. I'm just going to give you a couple different ideas that you can use to create today. So the types of artworks that we're making today, one of them is called ecological artworks. Now, ecological, that just means it's the relationship between us humans and the environment around us. So we're working together, us being humans, making artworks, and using the environment around us to create. So we are using a little bit of ecological artworks, and we are also looking at environmental artwork. Now, environmental artwork is kind of in its name. It's just our environment. So it's enhancing or bringing attention to something in the world around you. So look in the world around you outside your home and decide, what can I use to make some artworks? So let's look around Ms. Escue's house to see what I can find. So far on my venture, all I've done is I've just grabbed some leaves from this tree behind me to see if I can make a radial design. A radial design is a design that goes in a circle. So we'll see what that looks like. Oh no, it moved. Well, I can move it back. Depending on how windy your day is, it will be easier or more difficult for you to do this with a leaf. But I took my leaves and I put them in a radial design, which means I took them around and I repeated them going around in a pattern. There it goes. There's a little bit more of it. Here is my radial design that I used using leaves from a tree in my backyard. Now, I did put it on a stepping mat from outside of my door. And this is kind of what it looks like. It's going around in a perfect circle as much as I can, and I'm using nature. Now, if I wanted to put this somewhere else in my yard, I could. And just be aware of the wind, it will blow it, because it's just nature, guys. So just have fun with it. Now, if you're anything like Miss Escue, you have a bunch of rocks around you, because we live in Las Vegas. We don't have a lot of grass. So I'm just going to grab a bunch of these rocks, and I'm going to see what I can do with them. I'm going to start with one of them, and maybe I want it to be a swirl. Maybe I want to make something else out of it, and I can do that. Maybe I'm going to organize them smallest to largest first. Maybe I'm going to keep rearranging them. How would you arrange some rocks that you find in your yard, if you have rocks? Which you probably do if you live in Las Vegas. Now I can keep going with this. I could make this really big. I could make this smaller. I could do a bunch of little ones. It's up to you. But you're going to start to see that design, that swirl, that type of line, that element of art, and that repetition pattern. Pattern is a principle of design because we're using elements of arts to get to our principles of design. So now my pile of rocks went from a pile of rocks to a nice swirl of rocks. Ta-da! Now for your last idea that you could do for your ecological and environmental artworks outside is going to use two things that you find inside, and we're going to use it outside. And those two things don't usually go together. That's going to be tape. My tape just so happens to be green. It can be painter's tape. That's what I would suggest because it will come off easier. But you can use any tape that your parents say A-okay to use. The other object you are going to be using with this, the material, is chalk. You're going to want to use some sidewalk chalk. Now, you may have seen this idea before online. It's been going around, but I'm going to show you how to do it on this video, just like I'm going to do in my backyard. Now, I got this pack of chalk, so many, from Walmart for 97 cents. That's right, less than $1. Less than $1, I got all of these chalks. Maybe when your parents go to the grocery, they can pick you up a little pack of chalk too. If not, that's okay. I gave you some other ideas of what you could do for your environmental and ecological artwork. Now, if you have these materials and you want to do this, you're gonna want to start out with a shape. Any shape that you want to get you started. And then you're gonna keep putting more geometric shapes on the inside of that shape. Here is my large shape that I have so far. I did a rectangle. Maybe you want to do a triangle for your geometric shape. What geometric shape will you make for yours? Now, geometric shapes are going to have straight lines because we are using tape for this. So you want to make sure you are using tape for those straight lines and your geometric shapes. So let's see what shapes I can make going around on the inside, and it's going to look abstract. It's not going to look like anything specific. Now here's mine all taped out for what I want to do. Now the fun thing about this is that it's not permanent. It will go and wash away with some water when we're done, and we can see the effect of what do you think it's going to look like before we peel off the tape versus what is it going to look like after we peel off the tape. How would it be different if I used only warm colors or if I used only cold colors? How would that change the idea and the message of the artwork? I could also make big shapes, I can make small shapes. So think about the variety of sizes that you're using. That is a principle of design. Here is mine, and here's what it looks like when I am done coloring it. Now, to make it a little bit more smoothed out, what I did for mine is I took my fingers and I smudged it together so it would be nice and blended. And yes, it is very dusty, it is very chalky because that's what we're using. So now if I go over on this side and I start to peel off this tape, it's going to change everything. So let me finish peeling this tape off and I will show you. Ta-da! Here it is. You can make it bigger, you can make it smaller. Here's my feet next to it so you can see how big I made mine. So mine are pretty large shapes. It is still a little dusty, but that dust should blow away. But that tape though, it left some really clean lines. You could draw different things with the tape, or you can make it abstract and make it not look like anything specific like Miss Escue did. Cannot wait to see what you end up creating for your ecological and environmental artworks. You do not have to do this. You can choose anything else from outside, and you can make something like this little guy. You can make something like this with rocks. You can do something with leaves, or you can always go and you can do something like I did. So I want us to dig a little bit deeper into environmental artists and artists that look at ecological issues. So these are the results that you get when you look it up on Google. So if I look at this one, this artist is using more of the materials that they find in their environment. Artists can use those materials, or they can also bring in materials that impact that environment, like old toothbrushes. Now, the materials that I showed you that you could use came from the environment, or with chalk, chalk derives and it comes from sedimentary rocks. So it is a connection to the environment still. It might be something that you bought and has color in it, but it still comes from the environment, from a sedimentary rock. So we're going to look a little bit more at Andy Goldsworthy. Here's Andy Goldsworthy, and this is what it comes up with when you Google search his name. He is a British sculptor. Now, Andy Goldsworthy is a British sculptor and photographer, environmentalist who produces site-specific works around the world. He has made movies, he has made videos. He's the one who takes these beautiful colored leaves going in analogous order out from that tree. So he is a really amazing gentleman. If you want to watch one of his movies, I suggest the one big one he has out called Rivers and Tides, where he's working with time around him. Now what we can do is we can watch a little bit of the trailer of what this looks like.
growth, time, change, and the idea of flow in nature. When I make a work, I often take it to the very edge of its collapse. And that's a very beautiful balance. I want to understand that state and that energy that I have in me, that I also feel in the plants and in the land. The energy and life that is running through, flowing through the landscape.